Alright guys, this is another Patreon request, and this one comes from Tom Hibbert, who asked me to do a pretty interesting She-Ra story. And that is, as you can see, Queen Angella Year 1. Kind of like an origin story for Angella, or at least like my take on Angella as like an origin story for her. But, as always, if you guys would like to have a Patreon request done, just hit the link below, head on over to my Patreon, where you guys can start sending me requests for videos to do here on YouTube. Other than that, let's get started with this Patreon request. So, how I would do... So, this story begins with this is how I would do it, is that, in this continuity, since this is... Like, they never really went too deep into the royal family... I would say that this is Angella's mother, who has been slain by someone called the Hordak Who Was, or Hordak Who Is. So the Hordak Who is an unknown character. It's not our Hordak. In fact, I'm gonna bury the lead a bit. It's not Hordak at all. So it's just an alias for the Hordak Who Is. So the Hordak Who is this like big threat who has killed Angella's mother. And Angella, much like Amethyst will in the future, has inherited the throne much too soon, and is now pressed for an immediate reaction of what to do next. Like, what must be done about this coming conflict with the thing who calls himself the Hordak Who Is. And yeah, now the thing is that no one knows who the Hordak Who is and why he calls himself the Hordak Who Is. In fact, a lot of the people, including Angella's sister Casta, is like, it's probably not even the Hordak we know, because yeah, they're aware of like Hordak Prime and all of that, and well, there's like rumblings of like another Hordak, and he's kind of treated like a myth. And eventually, one of the Hordak Who Is emissaries arrive, and it's Evelyn. Yeah, the Hordak Who Is really Skeletor in this story. It's really, it's actually Skeletor. He just goes by that name because he calls himself the Hordak Who Is because in this continuity, ages ago, Skeletor encountered Hordak Prime and basically kind of took on that moniker for when he was doing like stuff outside of Eternia. That was his whole plan, was to use that alias and use it as a cover to mask his dealings outside of Eternia. So when he found his way to Etheria, he used the identity calling himself the Hordak Who Is to carry on because the whole thing is like he knew he didn't want a war with both He-Man, well, the Masters of the Universe at this time. We'll get to that because we are doing a bit of a tie-in here with the Masters of the Universe. He didn't want a war with them when he's trying to get to Castle Grayskull, and he knew he didn't want a war with Hordak Prime because he didn't want a war. He didn't want a war with the Etheria and Eternia. He just wanted to pick his lane. But so in case anything happened, he would go by the Hordak Who Is, because he found out that that's one of the titles Hordak Prime has on one of these planets. Because it goes into the whole cloning thing. It's a little odd, but I kind of read a lot of Grant Morrison before doing this book. Shut up. Before doing this story. Shut up. So yeah. So he's using one of Hordak Prime's aliases to carry out his will. And Evelyn basically tells the new Queen Angella, submit to the Hordak Who Is. Submit to my lord, and pay a tribute to my lord, and he will spare you. And Angella's like, no, I'm not going to do that. I am going to wage war on Skeletor. I am going to wage war on the Hordak Who Is, and when I get to his castle, he's going to remember my name. And Hordak goes, Evelyn's like, you have no idea. Later, so Evelyn leaves, and Angella's like, what do I do? Because she just basically called down the thunder by challenging Skeletor. It's at this point where Micah shows up, and Micah, who is still under Shadow Weaver's like teachings and whatnot before she became Shadow Weaver, and she's more or less learning. I mean, he's learning all this magic, and also kind of acting as like a counsel to Angella, who is rightfully like scared out of her goddamn mind that she just did a big oopsie, essentially. Like she just made the biggest oopsie of all time. And what happens is that Micah is like, you know, we can't if we go to war with the Hordak who is, we need to commit to it. Like if we can't just who are we if we just say one thing and not do it? Like who are we to do that? So Angella is like, and everyone's looking at Angella, who's young. She has, she is untested. She literally has very little battle experience. Yes, she's formidable, but she has no experience at war. So Angella makes the bold decision to attack find the Hordak who is, and find out where he lives. And fortunately, help comes in the form of a certain sorceress who's like, Queen Angella, I am here to assist you. She comes to her in like a dream. That's the thing. It's like a vision for Angella, and it's the sorceress from He-Man. And the sorceress says, if I do this for you, if I show you who the Hordak who is, if I show you who he is and show you where he is, like where he is hiding, and lead you to him, you'll do something for me. Like you will do something for me in turn. And Angella's like, yes, totally, I'll be all in for it. So what happens is that the sorceress, like after the dream, leads her to like this portal that she set up just to be like, here, and the forces of Etheria rally behind him and find their way to Snake Mountain, where Skeletor is, and that's when he reveals that he's the Hordak who is. He was just an alias, and Angella and Skeletor battle it out until Skeletor... Here's the thing, is that Angella knew and her forces couldn't win, and she's fighting alongside Micah. Her and Micah are like doing battle with Skeletor, and he's just trouncing the two of them, and he's like, now you will feel the power of Skeletor. I can do a better Skeletor, but my throat's recovering from I have a sore throat, and it's recovering from a cold I've had for a few days. And Angella's like, I didn't need to beat you, I just needed to distract you. And he's like, distract me? What? And that's when the Masters of the Universe, who heard the commotion of someone attacking Snake Mountain, and he's like, oh shit. So, fights a war on two fronts and is forced to retreat, leading to Angella securing her queenship. This, however, the sorceress does arrive as like, yes, the sorceress is real, and I have a task for you. Because Skeletor is not beaten, and you have the evils of Hordak coming. So, you need to protect your world and mine. You're gonna find someone in the future. Someone is gonna come to you. I've made it so that person is already on your world. I've kept them there in secret, and one day you will find them. On that day, you will know who they are, and they're gonna save both our worlds, inadvertently, from Hordak. And of course, she's talking about Adora. The sorceress has set into motion of leading to Hordak, finding Adora, and this is why Angella was like kind of cool with the idea of starting to trust Adora as fast as she did. And Angella's like, yeah, I'll do it. So there you go, guys. There is Angella Year 1. I'd like to thank Tom Hibbert for this Patreon request. And you guys tell me in the comments below, what did you guys think of it? Comment below, let me know. Other than that, hope you all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.